One and I am recovering from COVID.
Do what?
Fair one and I am recovering from COVID.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Huh? Yeah.
We'll get together on it.
I ain't nobody mind, but I'm quite sure it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing came in. We got another bill for this. We already
Y'all ready?
everything.
All right.
Okay.
We'd like to stand for the prayer and the pledge. Mr. Baker, would you lead us in a prayer, please?
Yes, sir. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time that you've given us to be able to come to this meeting place and to be able to serve the citizens of this parish.
Yes.
We ask you that you guide our minds and help us to make the best decisions for the parish of a whole. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your Son, Jesus. Please forgive us of our sins. In your Son's name, amen.
Amen. All right, follow me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's a wrong.
Got a full house.
All right, we have a call for any additions or deletions to the agenda. All right, guest and public comments. We have a Mr. Drew Tezier with Union Pacific Railroad. Come forward, please.
Thank you.
Sit right there, please, sir, and speak into the microphone. State your name.
Drew Tesche, Director of Public Affairs for Union Pacific Railroad.
Okay, and you want to speak on,
I want to speak on our progress with our derailment cleanup in Kiachi.
in Keachai?
Kichai. There
Okay,
we go.
go right ahead.
I'm a foreigner, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the police jury and the parish. The line of communication started from the very beginning with Mike Norton, which is very, very important to have that open up. If we needed something, Mike's there, the parish is there, and especially it's important for us, if the parish needs something, he had a direct line to myself to help out. Y'all Sheriff Jason Richardson is a spectacular guy, young, did a professional job. Just the whole thing went extremely well. We're making a lot of progress. I have Tom Robinson here, who's been out there, pretty much a resident for the last 4 weeks, who's heading things up with the cleanup. And he was there. I was with him on day one out there. We did a town hall with the mayor on Thursday that I thought went pretty well, and we answered questions there. We had our claims department who's meeting immediate needs and addressing all the concerns of those who were displaced and the landowners impacted. So, I also want to mention, besides, before an event like this happens, Tom does a lot of first responding training. It wasn't that long ago, he was in Mansfield training first responders for incidents or accidents like this that are very, very rare. We train with first responders. We got one coming up in Addis, Louisiana, and that's a very, very main priority for us. And if y'all either want to hear from Tom, or we can just take questions, or
Okay, does he have anything you'd like to add?
you want to add?
Well, nothing other than our plan is to remove the loaded rail cars, transfer them into good tank cars, and get the hazardous material that's still on site out of there. Nothing that leaked from the original derailment the night of has gotten past our protection. We put in a large earthen berm with an interceptor trench, and then past that we have another interceptor berm. So and we've dug to clean dirt, and we're testing the soils and all of the rainwater that's been coming down. Some of the challenges have been the large amount of rain that we got the week after the derailment. It rained for like 4 or 5 days straight, and you guys know, because this is springtime in Louisiana, and that's what we have to, in the mud and all that has been a challenge. But other than that, I'm pretty confident that we'll be out of that town in the next few weeks, and we'll have big trees growing where the derailment once was. So, and I'm really sorry about what happened and all the people that were displaced. Like Drew said, I've been knocking on doors and talking to as much people as I can, and I'm assuring them that we're going to make this right. We really don't want derailments to happen, but when they do, we're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, and we feel like we've met with everybody. If there's some reason somebody that we've missed, please contact us. Our claims department's not going to leave, not going to walk off and disappear. They'll still be working long after the cleanup's done, and we'll take some questions if y'all have some.
Any questions from any jurymen? Okay, we appreciate you. Appreciate you letting us know and keeping us up to date.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, next on the agenda is the administrative items. Number 2, authorize the president to sign a CEA with DeSoto Waterworks District 1 for the extension of a water main located near the intersection of Statney Road and Louisiana Highway 175.
So move.
Have a motion by Mr. Fuller,
Second.
second by Mr. Mitchell.
Yes. Yes.
Any discussion?
Is this what we voted on earlier at the end of
Yes.
last year, I believe?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay.
Was this already in the budget?
Yes, sir, it was. Y'all approved it last year, part of the budget. The only additions are, Mr. Fuller used some of his ARPA money to plug the hole.
Any more discussion?
Matter of fact, 2 and 3 was in the same line. We already discussed it. Item number 3 also.
All right, vote.
I'm sorry, I was making notes. I apologize.
All right, motion passed. Item number 3, authorize the president to sign a CEA with Ronald McDonald House Charities for a place to stay while their children need medical attention.
So moved.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Ms. Burrell and a second by Mr. Rowe. Any discussion? Vote. Motion passed. Item number 4, authorize the president to sign a CEA with the crew of Aquarius.
Also move.
Motion by Mr. Mitchell,
Second.
second by Mr. Rowe. Any discussion? Vote. Motion passed. Item number 5, discuss the cooperative endeavor agreement policy.
I'm the one that asked for that. I noticed the CEA we signed it with Stonewall for road work up there is like $145,000. They're only buying material. We also tie up our labor and our equipment there. We also lose the time that we spend in the city fixing the road. We lose that time that our crews could be working on the parish roads that we need worked on.
Okay.
There's no way that we can get our money back on this, but we need to at least be where we get our expenses on it. Material, labor, equipment, any engineering, anything that has to do with that project, the city will have to pay us for it. We can't continue to give away stuff without getting a return of some sort on it. And if nothing else, if they spend and pay for everything that's done on that road, we're still losing because we're losing the time that our hands are away from the job that we hired them for, working on the parish roads. And the city is still gaining because they're not having to pay a contractor his profits that's involved, that's over the cost of material, labor, and equipment. I would like to probably make a resolution for the next meeting to bring it up to vote on this as to do away with the CEAs the way we're doing them now to where we're losing money on. We need to at least get our expenses back on anything that we do.
Any more discussion?
I just want to commend Mr. Parker on this because this is something I've been preaching for some years now, and he is absolutely right. And I really have been preaching this same sermon for some years, and thank you, Mr. Parker. Somebody finally listened.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll say something on
All right,
this.
Mr. Baker.
There's been a lot of us who have had streets paved in towns that the whole expense was borne by the police jury. But that's needless to say, that's in the past. But the citizens of Stonewall or citizens of Mansfield or any incorporated area in this parish pay the parish road tax. Comes out of their homeowners' property tax that they pay every year. So you want to turn around again and charge those citizens again for something they already pay for. We have the agreement with the towns that at least they pay the materials, which I think that's fair myself because we're already getting the tax from the citizens. So that's my comment on the subject.
Well, a rebuttal on that.
Yes, sir.
To the best of my knowledge, the state law does not require us to work on parish roads within the city limits of any municipality. That belongs to the city.
That is true, but state law does not say that we can't.
That's right. I'm not saying we're going to stop doing this. I'm just saying that we should get the full cost of what it costs us to do it. I'm not against helping the city of Mansfield or Logansport or Stonewall or Grand Canyon or any other municipality in the parish. But I don't think we can continue to lose money doing it. They can pay for the total labor, and they're still saving the 20 or 30% profit that a contractor would be charging them if they had to hire a contractor to do it. That's all I'm after.
And I want to say something on that too. Because really, honestly, when we really look at this, you saying that, but Stonewall do pay property taxes. They do. Along with Mansfield, Logansport, Pelican, all these people pay property taxes. But in the city of Mansfield, on this end of the parish, they can't afford to pay for a lot of this material. Logansport might not can afford to pay for our where y'all know how Stonewall been built up. And if we check the records, get to looking at the money that DeSoto Parish honestly spend in Stonewall. Honestly, versus everybody else. Let's look at what's honestly being spent up there. And it's not fair. It's not fair to, I mean, if they want to do this, they need to do just like Logansport, just like Mansfield, pass some taxes. Y'all say we can't vote on this election because we taxed out. Well, that's for a reason. So, it is not an even playing field, really, honestly. I mean, it's been a time Stonewall had their own crew. Their own crew. Everybody else didn't have that privilege. And that's not being fair to all the citizens of DeSoto Parish. I love them all. And all I want is fairness. Let's pack fair.
Any more discussion? Okay, do I hear a motion we adjourn?
So move.
I have a motion, Mr. Fuller.
Second.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Mr. Jones, second. All in favor? Aye.
Personnel committee called to order. Do we have any addition and deletions to the agenda? Is there any guests and public comments? Have none. Personnel items. Discuss political rallies wearing police jury attire and using company vehicles. I asked to put this on here because I got all kind of texts and emails and calls concerning one of our employees wearing their uniform to, I don't know if it was a campaign rally or fundraiser or whatever. But when I endorsed the candidate, not me, but that particular candidate used the parish seal. Oh, some of the police jury was calling. They gave me holy concerning that. And I the one didn't do it, so I had to call that county and ask them, would they please remove that? I want to know what's the difference. If you go, I ain't got no problem with nobody supporting who they want to support. That's their right. As a citizen, that is your right. But they don't need to do it in police jury gift. And I don't care what the reason they say they was going for. That don't need to be done. It don't look good to the public because some citizens, the Democrats gonna have a problem if the problem is at the Republicans. The Republicans gonna have a problem if it's at the Democrats. The Independents gonna have a problem. So our best is for our employees. I'm asking our employees not to do it at all. Because it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. And I don't want to, y'all know how I am about the street committee. I don't want the street committee texting me, ooh, Miss Red, look at y'all employee. Or do you see this? Look like he drinking. See, we get that, and that's what I be telling y'all. When they don't get it, when they employ, y'all don't get to hear this. We do. So to eliminate that, I'm asking, please don't wear your gear. God forsaken, don't use our vehicles. Thank you. Y'all, anybody got any comment they want to make on this issue? Okay. Item 2, authorize hiring 2 heavy equipment operators, one at the Monday landfill. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Oh.
A second.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Anybody want to come in? Anybody want to ask any questions?
I'd like to get David up here, please. Just so everybody know, David, explain to us why we're needing to hire 2 people.
All right. So at the landfill, I'm out 2 guys. I've been out one since September. He's still on the books. And I've got another guy's been out since January, both of them with back issues. Both of them should be back, hopefully, maybe in April or whatever, but it's been a very hard struggle on us to try to get covered on the landfill. We got some good weather coming in, so we need to really move a lot of dirt. And just for what we're doing right now, it's just a struggle day in and day out to get this done. And Woodley, he's let me borrow one of his guys, and he just told me that he's gonna have to have him back here in the next week or two, because I'm gonna start doing some road projects. So that's basically what we're needing.
Well, I know I was at a compactor site last Friday, I believe it was, and the open top was way overloaded with stuff, and we just didn't have a driver and a truck available at the time, and they had to stop people from coming in there and putting anything else in the open tops. They could still take it in the compactor, but the open tops was all full.
Yeah, and it's been a struggle for us here lately, you know, with the trucks that we have. Parish is growing, especially on the north end of the parish. I mean, this morning, Stonewall's loaded up, Fryerson's loaded up, got a call up there this morning. It's, you know, me and Mike's talked about, talking about buying some bigger dumpsters. I think that'll help. Me and Greg's talked about this machine that I need to get a lot more research on it. I think Reggie is in on that too. So I think that would help us tremendously once we get to that. But right now, as far as the landfill issue with the operators, it's a must need, should I say, is what we need right now.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Mr. O'Meara, you saying that's all we need for right now, the equipment operators? Remember you and I discussed about the trash issue?
Yes, sir.
Especially coming up and down the roads.
Right.
And I said that, the roads shouldn't look like we're coming to a landfill.
Correct.
And I think at that time you expressed that we needed some other, at least maybe a couple more people to help pick up the trash and do some other things.
We actually just have got that done, Mr. Ernell. It's been, what, Mike, about a couple weeks? Weeks. Whole 84 from the city of Mansfield to 49's been picked up.
Okay.
I think if you drive through there, I think you're going to see a big difference.
Okay,
Looks
great.
really good. I mean, I think, wouldn't you agree, Mike?
With the exception of some mud that's on the sides of the roads, which we've been able to get and mitigate those issues, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and that's right outside the landfill.
Okay.
But that's because of all the rainy weather we've had, reality, and just a lot of mud.
So I was able to hire that crew, so I've got them now.
Great.
And it's so far, it's just beginning, Mr. Ernell. But
All right.
as far as the road issue out there,
Yeah.
man, I'm really happy about it, and I think Mike is too.
Good deal.
Really.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
Mr. Fuller, got a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
On these people you're talking about hiring, would they be permanent employees? Would they get rid of the old employees?
No. Now, as far as the employees I have, I've still got the same guys. The issues I face is guys. Look, I've got guys out there that's been there forever. They got a lot of vacation time, personal time. I've got 2 guys out, some kind of handicapped and me getting things done. Sure, they're going to come back. As far as drivers, I'm using one of my drivers, one of my operators in a truck, So I had another driver out in the last week. Kevin was out. His back was bothering him and stuff. So we're shorthanded a lot of the times. I'm out a guy or 2 anyhow. This will kind of take up that slack so that I can still get the trash covered. I can still get the trucks in and out. It's just been a hurdle for me to do what I need to do.
Yes.
So,
And part of it, let's be honest now,
yes, ma'am.
part of it, the mud trucks y'all taking in. Y'all got trucks lined from the rooter to the tooter. And part of it is all the mud trucks that's coming in there. Y'all need to maybe stop taking so many of those in. So our trucks, I sat there and watched them. I sat there 3 hours. And when I left, the same our trucks that's supposed to be going to take care of the parish business, still sitting in line. So it ain't about.
So what I
It
did.
shouldn't be about just all about the money y'all bringing in.
I understand.
Take care of the people.
And what I did, Miss Jerry, I called that guy about that, and I told him that I didn't want to take it on Saturdays. Me and Greg had a discussion about it, and the guy told me it's what, Mike, about $1.67 million deal.
Yes.
So the guy told me that DeSoto Parish hadn't done him any favors, so he'll just find somewhere else. So he's no longer coming back in there. So that issue's addressed, Miss Jerry.
Okay, good. Cause that'll help.
Yes, ma'am.
What about the 1.5 million?
That's for the revenue.
I'm sorry?
That was the revenue on it.
That we're losing?
Well, that we're not getting any more right now, but they're gonna come back, Mr. Ernell.
Yeah.
To some degree. We're gonna put limits on it.
It ain't it ain't, that landfill ain't equipped for that mud. Y'all need to go out there.
Yeah,
and
we're
look
gonna
for
put
yourself.
limits.
All right,
So,
okay.
is there anything else? You guys? All right, if y'all need something, let me know.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It ain't. That's what they end up
Let's
in
move,
dozers.
let's move on from somewhere.
Oh, okay. Anybody have any more questions?
We have to vote on
Motion to adjourn. Oh, y'all got to vote on that? Oh, okay. Well, please vote. Motion to adjourn.
that. So move. Second.
Road committee come to order. Is there any additions or deletions? Any guests or public comments on anything on the road? Item number 1, reject all bids for the asphalt roller. Vendors did not meet qualifications.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Keith Parker,
Second.
second by Mr. Arnell. Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Burrell, you on that committee? Got it?
I thought I messed it up.
Motion passes. Item 2, authorize the parish administrator to sign the change order number 1 and amend number 2 on Powell Road.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Arnell.
Make a motion.
Huh?
Second.
Second by Mr. Holmes. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you elaborate on?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
The contractor needed to extend the contract 60 days because they're moving a gas line out there. It's no cost to the jury. The amendment is for moving of the contract, of the pipeline, the gas line.
Okay, I just be wanting y'all to explain
ma'am.
to me what's happening. Okay.
Any more discussion? Please vote now. Motion passes. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Keith,
Second.
second by Arnell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Call the Budget and Finance Committee to order. Are there any guest or public comments? Excuse me, I didn't ask for any additions or deletions. Then guest or public comments? Budget and finance items. Number 1 is to discuss moving some parish police jury funds to a different bank. Anybody have any discussion on this?
Yes, sir.
We gotta get a motion first.
I'll make a motion for discussion.
No, just discuss.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for discussion.
Okay. This one of my items. First of all, I put on here, to discuss and take action, but I don't know what happened to that, but, I did wanna take some action, but in a way, I'm glad they did that, but I do have concerns about the, accounts. We have 13 accounts in Community Bank. And I would like to see some of those accounts move to other banks. I'd like to explore the options of better interest rates for one. Cause I have found a company where we can get some much better interest rates. Second of all, I have concerns about some conflict with Community Bank that I just feel we need to share the wealth. I mean, we got other banks, Progressive, Citizens, what's the one up here?
Red River.
Yeah, I just want to explore some more options on our accounts. See if we can get more bang for our monies, for one thing. And then maybe then we won't have to pay so many taxes. And like I say, I do have some concerns about the conflict of interest we have with maybe some of the board members, and we have a jury that serves on our budget and finance committee. That's a conflict, and it truly concerns me, and it also concerns a lot of our citizens because they've been calling me concerning it. So I wanted to discuss it, and I left you all one. Where is it? You will see it on your desk. I'd like for you all to read that. And the man will come up and explain to us the changes, how much better of an interest rate they can give us, so on and so forth. But I do think we need to take a look at it. I hate being stagnated. We sit in the same place for years and years and years, never make a different move. And I'm about the citizens and what's best for them. So I really, yeah, that's it, Dwayne. Take that and he'll come up here and explain to us. Cause I've been researching and looking for somewhere that we can make more money in our accounts. So maybe next meeting or next budget meeting, we have a chance to, so we can explore those options and get a report back. But I do want to do that, Mike.
You want us to look at different banks?
Yeah.
Okay. LAMP, I wanted to let you know, we have an account with LAMP already. We have over $2 million invested with LAMP, and LAMP
Well,
is
we
not.
might need to invest some more.
But they're not a bank. They're just
It don't matter. We need to invest our monies. We sitting up on these monies, and we borrowing money from other entities. That don't make sense to me.
So you're requesting us to put together a sheet that shows the various banks with their interest rates?
Yeah,
and everything?
their interest rates.
Okay, I think
Like
we can do that.
Progressive, I'd like to know what their interest rates are.
Sure.
I'd like to know what Citizens' interest rates are. And really honestly, I do.
Yeah. We can do that.
Okay.
Let me say, I understand what Ms. Burrell is saying. But really, we have some money invested with LAMP already. And the money that we get from the citizens or in the taxes, man, we have to put that back. But really not in the saving business. Now, we're in the spending money smart business. But actually putting money back, just setting aside to the group, I don't know. I don't think we're in that concerned government agencies, especially parishes or cities.
Well,
I'm saying? We already have some. We have $2 million invested, and I think we did that for a long time ago. Isn't that right? We did that a long time ago. But really, and that's what we talked about some things that, but I just don't think we should be in the saving money business. Our money we get from taxes or whatever, put it back into our parishes.
I mean, I agree. I want to agree with that on one hand, but this my thing. When y'all say saving money, but then you want us to pass a tax, and the citizens suffer passing this tax, and then we be setting up with these money setting up in reserves and stuff. They're not using that, so you might as well be drawing interest. Plus the fact I have a problem with charging the citizens a tax on a tax. You gonna lend the citizens money, but in the same breath, you gonna charge them interest on their own tax dollars. I got a problem with that. I really do. I have a problem with charging the citizens interest on their own tax dollars. I have a problem with deception. deceiving the citizen as this gonna be one thing when it's totally the opposite. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And if we can get more bang for our money, maybe we might need to save a few dollars. If I'm gonna buy a home, I need to save up. If I'm gonna pay for a new jail, I need to save up. Not put the burden on the citizens, cause that's what we do, and we wrong for that. Cause that's what we do. And then we don't even give them a chance to say yay or nay. We go over their heads, and we really got to the point we telling the citizens what we gonna do with their money. I have a problem with that. We do. We tell the citizens what we gonna do, because for us, that new jail, it should have went before the citizens. They should have decided what we was gonna do before we decided we was gonna make that move, but we didn't. So now what we doing? Borrowing money. The citizens borrowing their own tax dollars, because that's exactly what's happening. They are borrowing their own tax dollars, and guess what? Got to pay interest on it. I have a problem with that.
Mr. Baker. I have a question for Mr. Michael. I know some of our accounts that we connected with the state directly, so we got to be very careful on what account that we are messing with.
Yeah,
like grants. We got some accounts and grants deposit into.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. You have to be careful, because like all your sales tax revenue right now, those are all dedicated funds. So you can't use those on anything like every sales tax dollar that comes into the road fund, for example. You can't use any of that in anything in the general fund. You can't use any of that in the sales or in the solid waste. By law, those dedicated funds have to be used within that fund.
So in your report, would you please just lay that out for us?
Okay. Yes, sir. We can do that.
Mr. Baker,
Yes.
I'd like to comment on that. I don't think it's a good idea for us to have all of the parish citizens' money in one bank. Y'all drive around Shreveport and Bossier, you see these banks changing hands. Nothing to say that community's going under or going to survive or not. But all banks have in their system a broker, and this bank does not have a broker, and that broker is to advise this jury of how to place their funds. And if it is a dedicated fund, and if we could move it to another bank and get more interest on it, then that'd give us more interest to return to the citizens of the parish.
No bueno.
If y'all, this look like something the White House would do, put all their money in one box.
Mr. Baker,
I don't think it's very good or very efficient to have all your money in one place. And I'm not saying put it all in another bank, spread it out. But all the other two banks, other three banks are local banks in the parish. And we need to recognize them because they are a service to DeSoto Parish. And the more interest that we can make, the more money we can put back into the system. I just don't think it's a good idea to have $30-something million in one bank.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, and that part of the discussion I can agree with. I can help support. It seemed like at one time we did utilize several banks. Did we not, April? We did use several banks with our funds.
We still do, Mr. Arnell. Our sales tax fund, that is at Capital One. The majority of your checking accounts are a community bank. That's your operating ins and outs of the master bank.
Okay.
But sales tax is at Capital One.
Okay. But the majority of it is at
a community bank.
13 accounts. I did that much research. 13 accounts at community bank.
See, that's another issue. Capital One is not a DeSoto Parish bank. If you call them people, you got to go to Atlanta somewhere. And I don't want nobody in Atlanta, New York, telling me what I can do with my money down here, or the jury's money or anything else. So I think that we ought to look at splitting it up some and get the best rates that we can get, just like the lamp. You see how much lamp has went up in the last 2 or 3 months. You know, who advised us that it was going up?
Who advises us on what? I didn't hear you.
Who advised us that the lamp interest rate was going up? Did anybody call either one of y'all and tell us, you know, it's going up?
I didn't receive a call, no, sir.
Did they call you, David? I didn't figure they would.
Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker.
It's just not good in my book.
Mr. Mitchell?
Okay. I'll make a little statement. I'm going to defer this, make a motion to defer it for a workshop. But one statement, you know, everybody has good things that they're saying, but the one thing that I'd like to say is DeSoto Parish Police Jury is not rich, okay? When you look at these budgets, most of that is pass-through money. It's actually what it is. There is some money in investments, but I think that's to good, sound business management by the people around this table. So I'll make a motion to defer to a workshop.
I second.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to move it to a workshop.
Yeah, because we need to lay it all out. That's right. Look at it.
Any discussion on that? We'll find a date that we can fit it in.
Okay.
You want to vote on that?
We have to.
I'll schedule a workshop and get y'all, because this was just discussion anyway. But I'll schedule a workshop to have further conversation on this and let the treasurer and Mike gather some information that has been asked to be presented to us.
Okay.
Next, item 2, authorize amending the budget for 2 positions at the coroner's office in the amount of $8,000.
Is this where she
I'll
was?
make a motion to do that, a total of 8,000 only.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Fuller.
Is this,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is this 8,000 that was previously discussed that she's needing the additional help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She
And,
lost,
and to be clear, the 8,000 includes a portion of what they, you know, at the average deaths per month is, I think she said 30. 30 deaths, so.
okay. Ooh. Okay. All right.
It was 30 deaths a month, $100 for each death. But all this is included with the 8,000. It's not
Okay.
separate.
It's not separate.
It's not
Okay.
separate.
Any other discussion?
I got a problem, but I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Please vote now.
It's in positions. It's in positions. Does that mean they're hiring somebody else or 2 employees?
She wanna hire somebody.
Motion passes.
But she don't have anyone. She don't
Item
lost.
3 is authorize the president to sign a positive pay agreement with Community Bank.
I so move to discuss what it is.
I have a motion by Mr. Fuller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second.
Positive.
What is this about?
Yes, what is it?
This is an agreement for us to be able to create a positive pay file. Is when we issue checks to vendors. We currently don't have anything that the bank checks against it. And we have been having lots of issues with endorsement problems. So when we cut a check to a contractor, they take it to the bank. And yes, it has her signatures and her logo, but with this positive pay file, if we write 30 checks, we upload those to the bank, and it's letting the bank know, yes, you can cash this check. It is a valid check, and it just kind of prevents fraud. Every other place I ever been has this. We just haven't had this before.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Y'all please vote now.
Okay.
Motion passes. Item number 4, amend the solid waste budget by $190,000 to employ 2 new heavy equipment operators.
So move to discuss it.
Motion by Mr. Fuller. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion?
I know you said level 1. What is that pay rate on that?
It's in your binder.
Can you tell me something?
The entry level is $17.99, and the top is $26.97 per hour.
99, 27.
That, the $190,000 includes benefits.
Benefits and all.
All that stuff, yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, please vote now.
Let's back, well, never mind.
You have
I
something
want
else?
to like the previous employees, the one you say you're replacing, they're still going to keep making what?
Yeah, we're not replacing anyone. This is 2 additional positions.
Just 2 additional. This goes back to,
Solid waste. This is for Monday landfill.
okay.
Yes,
When
sir.
I say replacing, the ones that are going to go, not getting rid of them, I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Motion passes.
Man, that's just.
Number 5 is to amend the 2022 budget to transfer monies from the general fund to the criminal court fund in the amount of $52,000.
That's a move to discuss.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fuller, second by Mrs. Boyd Simpson. Discussion?
Yeah, what are we, I mean, is that something we're supposed to be doing, or why are we doing this?
I'll let you handle it.
We ran out of money?
Yes, sir. I mean, that's what the comes down to. After we worked the accruals and did all that, and they had additional expenses that came from October to December, we're in a deficit of
What
$52,000.
additional expenses?
They started a TAP program where we're paying Louisiana State Troopers and the Sheriff's Office for their services. It will start making revenue this year, but it's going to take a little while for that revenue to start kicking in. So it's either, I did ask the judge and the DA to see if they would approve a transfer for the witness and juror, and that was not granted, so it is up to the parish police jury to transfer from the general fund.
So I have a question. So with the 2022 budget, so it wasn't enough allocated, so they're in the rears this amount.
Correct.
So you said it's called the what program?
On the invoices is TAP. And basically, they just have more troopers out there, sheriffs out there, writing tickets. We will start getting that revenue, hopefully, in the next few months. And it's something that we're watching just to make sure that it is something they want to continue. If it's not bringing in that revenue, then, to let them know.
So who's monitoring it? The criminal court? I mean, the sheriff? Who's doing the monitoring?
The DA and the judge are the ones that sign off on those court orders as far as us paying those fees.
So do we get information regarding on a monthly basis as far as what?
Yes,
how it's
ma'am.
looking?
The sheriff goes ahead and sends us a check every first of the month for bond, forfeitures, and different stuff. All that comes into it with that report.
Okay.
But like I said, doing that created to where we had expenses for those services that we did not allocate for.
Okay, so moving forward with this year, our goal is to make sure that this criminal court fund at the end of this year is not in the rears for this 52,000.
Well, for this 52 is actually to cover your 2022.
22.
Yes, because even though we did not received those invoices until this year. They were still for last year, so we're in an accrual basis that kicks up to last year.
So then, are we going to be in the same situation this year since we don't get it to the end of the year?
Well, this is a monthly thing that we're doing
So
now.
we can catch it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying, because that's better, because if
Yes,
we can
no,
look at it
ma'am. It's gonna
monthly-
be a monthly thing, and like I said, we're pretty much keeping an eye on that to where I need to let them know, hey, this is really not
Exactly.
working.
Okay.
We probably don't need to keep doing that.
Okay, because if not, we're going to be in the same situation. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Trina, let me kind of explain to you what it really is, since you wasn't here. But this the same phone. Back when I told y'all they went to Baton Rouge without our knowledge and got it changed where they could do just what they doing. Now they coming up talking about a tap phone. What's that? Dressed up lace? Because that's what it is, a dressed up lace program. That's exactly what it is. They went down there, got the rules changed, and I knew it wasn't going to be long. We was going to be in the rear. They going to clean that account out, and it's a dressed up lace program. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all it is, a dressed up another lace program. Same thing Lace did, where you're going to pay the deputies and the state troopers to make this money. This is the same program that they got in trouble for the last time. And I just got to say that because I like to be honest with my taxpayers in public.
Any other discussion? If not, will y'all please vote now?
Okay, so we're going to give them the money.
Motion passes. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Solid Waste Committee will come to order. Call for additions and deletions. Hearing none, any guest or public comments? Hearing none. First item is to authorize the president to sign a lease for landfill compactor rental, already approved in the budget.
So move.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. This is a compactor that compacts the trash at the landfill. We originally were wanting to go with the Caterpillar compactor, but the delivery date on that is not until the end of the year. So we found another brand that is more readily available. At least it's a little bit lesser, or lower.
Don't cost as much.
Yeah, it doesn't cost as much. Some of the upsides of this one, and I'll be honest, I've never heard of this brand before, but David went out and watched it work at 2-3 different adjacent landfills. These people, this machine's built where, David?
It's actually built in Finland.
In Finland.
Parts are manufactured in Lubbock, Texas.
So when you purchase the machine, you also receive a container of the most required spare parts that they recommend. You're guaranteed a 24-hour service for a fella to come out and work on it. You're not charged for the parts in the container until they take them out of the container. So the service on, they're trying to build this product up. The machine will compact 10% more than the Caterpillar on which we were looking at. And plus, like I say, it's a little bit cheaper. I think it's $300 a month cheaper is all. But, so that's the story on that. So I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion or any questions? Y'all please vote now. Motion passes. Authorize the president to sign a CEA with Shreveport Green for the annual household waste collection day on April the 15th.
So move.
A motion by Mr. Ernell Jones. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Richard Fuller. Any discussion? Hearing none, y'all please vote now. Motion passes. Approve the Monday landfill solid waste new tipping fee schedule, be effective October the 1st.
April 1st.
April 1st, excuse me. What did I say, Monday the 1st?
So move.
October.
I have, Mr. Fuller made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Mitchell. Any discussion? It's in your book if you want to see it.
Yeah, I saw that. 33 or something like that.
What's the tipping fees now?
20.
I'll have to ask Mike for sure for the comparison on the tipping fees. They're a little bit.
Everything
all over the
highlighted in
board.
yellow is what's changed. Construction debris right now is $22. The non-parish, non-DeSoto Parish is, the top is $32 a ton. It's going to $33 a ton. There's a volume discount. If you bring more than 75 tons per day on average, you get a $1 discount per ton. And the other one's going down. I mean, I can read each of them if you'd like me to. Friable asbestos, non-friable asbestos is going to $36 per ton. The pull-off trucks, whereas the friable asbestos before was only $29 per ton, the pull-off trucks are $50 per truck, and that's going up from $10 per truck. The medical non-hazardous waste is going to $40 per ton, and it was at $29 per ton.
You did that, or we, I mean.
No, ma'am, I met with the superintendent, and we got recommendations on what we need to bill for these specific items, just the ones in yellow. Nothing else on the schedule has changed. And that's basically due to what it costs to put it in our landfill. Those are recommendations.
Yeah.
I met with also Live Oak Environmental. They're supposed to, as part of their contract, make recommendations as well. So this is where we settled. David and I felt like this was equitable for the parish to do.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I know we had a contract with Live Oak, is that correct?
We still do, yes, sir.
Okay. That goes for what, another year? Is that what it goes?
Well, it'll be a year from the regular meeting in January if we can't come up with agreement, and
Okay.
we're pretty close to finishing.
If we can't, you said you were meeting with them when you got this schedule?
Yes, sir.
So they were involved in this negotiation?
Yeah, they're aware of it. Yes,
Aware?
sir. Yeah, they're aware of it.
But they're
And
aware
we
already?
met with, not with the CEO Roy Walters. We met with the COO Shane, his operating officer.
Yeah, aware or involved?
They were aware of this. And they contributed a little bit. This was more of a, looking at the numbers for the landfill, what we're making, this was more of a decision that David and I made. These were recommendations that, he brought to me.
Y'all did look at surrounding parishes and?
Yes.
and-
Oh, yes. We're still below some of the surrounding parishes. The idea is not to run the businesses off. It's to, ease them up. The schedule, the tipping fee schedule, you're supposed to make, according to our contract with Live Oak, we're supposed to get recommendations from them once a year to include CPI increases. Well, prior to me being hired here, y'all had never done that.
I know.
So that's why we're trying to bring this up slowly, but not to run businesses off.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
We done lost one, ain't
Ma'am,
we? Yeah, we lost the business.
I can't hear you.
I said we already have lost one business, right?
Was it the? No, that was on the, one of the mud trucks companies that you were referring to earlier. They've verbally told us they're not coming back because we stopped them coming on Saturdays because it was just too much. So, but I believe, as well as David, they'll come back. They have no choice. They have only a few places to dump that material. So,
Yeah, I heard we done lost more than that one. Maybe y'all don't know it yet.
yes, ma'am.
I'll ask him to come.
We're still giving Live Oak the discount that they were getting.
Yes, until we can finish the negotiations with them, which we're very close to that. I should have something by the beginning of April.
We have businesses in the parish here that are in the trash collecting business. Is there any way we could give that same discount to them for bringing their trash to us? They're tax-paying citizens that pay for the taxes here in the parish. They're in business for themselves, and they're competing with this. They don't get any kind of discount. And it kind of hurts them to go forward with rates going up. And not only that, I also still say we need to do away with that box rental because we're also competing with the same people that are in business doing that. What do y'all charge for your boxes, Mark? $485. $485. $485 is what they have to charge for their boxes. But yet we're giving them away for $100, competing against him, who has to pay taxes. I guess you pay taxes on that equipment too, don't you, Mark? Tax assessor hit you up for taxes on those boxes and things every year too? See? They will.
Well, I didn't change I didn't change the box rental because I tried to do that already, and y'all.
Well, I know.
didn't pass that.
Nobody's for that. They're for competing against
Yes.
our citizens, what they're for.
And as far as going back to your other issue about having contracts, a vendor's got to approach us with something. They have to make a proposal. I have received no proposals from outside vendors to, negotiate those rates out there at the landfill. If they want to negotiate, they need to contact us and let us know that they want to negotiate. And it's based on, they do a volume negotiation, so.
Okay.
Right.
You're willing to negotiate, I'm sure, aren't you, Mark? Yes, sir. Okay.
But those vendors need to bring something to us. If they don't bring anything to us, I can't, I'm not going to reach out to each one of them and say, hey, you want a contract? No.
Exactly.
Michael.
Any other discussion on the?
Did Live Oak come to us with this, or did we reach out to them
No, I reached out to Live Oak.
for the renegotiating?
Yes.
But the original contract, did they reach out to us, or did we reach out to them?
I wasn't here for that, Jimmy. I don't know.
I wasn't either.
They always come to us. They came to us.
They came to us, okay.
The gentleman, what's your name?
Let me take a vote on this fee schedule.
Okay, good. Go ahead. What's the name discussion?
We're in discussion of the fee schedule.
Oh.
Any other discussion on this?
What he asked?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's what he was asking?
Yeah. Do you take your trash to Mundy's landfill?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you do? Okay, and you have to pay a fee?
Yes, sir.
Tipping fee for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I thought you still wanted the other guy.
No, not yet.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mary.
All right, this is what you got to worry about getting into. All right, so for us picking up dumpsters, we pick up dumpsters at all our sites. We even got some dumpsters down there with Mr. Thomas Jones. We had a hard time getting his dumpsters up, As far as the people in the parish that I pick up like you said, on these boxes, it's people that each and every one of you guys pretty much have called me about to service them.
Right.
Okay? Very small amount. I can get that and give that information to you guys, but it's at their homes.
Right.
It's someone at their homes. I'm not picking up none of Brookshire's garbage. I'm not picking up Walmart's garbage. These oil field companies, but make it be clear, I understand a lot of this garbage is residential that he is picking up, but he's a contractor providing a service for it, which is, every how you guys see it. But what about Chesapeake out there in the oil field? They're producing this waste in DeSoto Parish. what about this company producing waste? Okay, it's, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful what you open yourself up to. So just want you guys to make sure y'all take that in
I don't
consideration.
think Chesapeake is in the trash business, though.
Well, maybe not, but Walmart is, Brookshire's is, all these convenience stores. Live Oaks, they set dumpsters there. This man here does. He's a good customer of ours. Great guy, good customer. He, as far as I'm aware, he don't go nowhere else. He comes to us. I'm not doing this to hurt him by no means, I promise you. I just want you guys to be aware that be careful of how you do it. I'm not saying maybe something should be different, but I do know this. That sale's going to cost us $7 million to build.
I'm saying,
It's going to cost.
like you said, Live Oak places dumpsters at Walmart and places like that. We're giving them a discount. So basically, Walmart's getting a discount.
I'm not quite sure. Is that all of his trash is on that, Mike, or just
If a Live Oak truck picks it up,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We're giving
Yeah.
Walmart a discount
Well,
and not willing to give
maybe.
our man a
I want to
discount.
make sure that's who it's all
I mean, if
about.
we're giving Live Oak a discount, we're giving whoever he does business
Yeah,
with a
and I
discount.
think it's based on the 75 tons.
But Chesapeake's not in the trash business. They're in the oil and gas business.
Yeah, they
We're
are.
not going to give them a discount
Well,
on bringing stuff
I
out there.
understand that.
Okay, let's get it straight.
Understand that.
Can
But
I-
Walmart, Brookshire, go ahead.
Can you reach out to him?
Not in general. I really didn't know exactly the operation.
He didn't know he could come to you and ask for a discount. These are the rates he's been given, and that he's been willing to pay the rates.
Right.
But he did not know, hey, come to us and we'll give you a discount.
Well, this is
No,
what
I said, can you reach out to him now? Okay, I thought you said, yeah, I said, can you reach out? I was thinking you said,
Just
no,
to
I
be
can't.
clear, this is what you guys passed last year, is that correct, Mike?
Right.
So it was what you guys passed last year at these volumes. And each one of these volumes is the way that we price it. So if you guys want to change that, I have no problem with it. I just want to make sure you guys know that I'm following what you guys put in place last
I
year.
understand that.
The deal is, Live Oak is pretty much our livelihood for that, as far as that landfill is concerned, right?
I think, what was it, Mike, 46%?
46%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
That's pretty much the.
I don't want to get over into the discussions that
Right.
we've had with them, but I think that we're doing some good
Yeah, there's,
in this negotiation. I think it's going to be very beneficial to this parish. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
So just let you guys know what
And-
we're doing. It's
I'm
going to be good.
running this stuff by Greg, solid waste chairperson. So whenever something comes before y'all, you're gonna, full disclosure, you're gonna see every bit of it, so.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
Yes.
this gentleman, what's the name of your company? Triple T. Where are you out of? Grand Cane?
He's in Mr. Parker's district.
Y'all got anything else for me?
No, thanks, man.
All right, thank y'all.
Any other discussion? Y'all please vote now. Motion passes. Authorize the president, item 4, authorize the president to sign a resolution with Upland Road for a solid waste processing system.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Fuller. Do I have a second?
A second for discussion.
Have a second by Mr. Ernell Jones. Any discussion?
Upland Road,
That's the people who gave us a presentation last week in a workshop about doing a recycling
all right.
feature.
Yeah, okay.
And this is just to further that process along. This is not telling Upland Road positively we're doing business with them. It's to let them know that we are serious at this venture.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Y'all please vote now. Motion passes.
So move.
No, hold on, Mr. Fuller. Hold on a minute.
What's his name?
Mr. Paul Mallory.
Did you have anything you needed to discuss with us this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to briefly just, if you don't mind if I just.
Come on up. I'll allow it.
I know you guys are tired of seeing me here twice a month.
Bring some donuts next time.
That's something I got hearing aids, guys, so I can really hear you now. I hope.
That brings some donuts next time.
I had a chance, as you know, I'm Paul Manley with Biomethane Partners. I have a proposal that I think we're pretty close to coming to an agreement. As a reminder, we are prepared to come in and deploy quite a bit of capital, $25–30 million worth of a gas collection project that helps not only your regulatory compliance issues that may come up, 4 or 5 years down the road. We would like to collect the gas and inject it into local pipelines to enjoy a bunch of revenue that the police jury would be able to share in. And obviously, when you talk about tipping fees and everything, those are things that can apply to that. But the reason why I want to talk about this is I was a little concerned when I heard about the Upland Road project because I wasn't quite sure as to what kind of trash would they be processing or, in fact, removing from the landfill. And what's important when you're generating methane, it's actually a biological process that needs organic material. And but that does not include glass, metal, aluminum, plastics, things like that do not generate biomethane. What does is white paper trash, which is kind of what the private industry folks are bringing. Your MSW trash is a broad term that talks about regular household residential trash. But as we all know, a lot of that contains plastics and things like that. My concern was alleviated and actually felt pretty good. I got to meet and spend some time with John and the folks over here with the Upland proposal. And from what I understand is that they're not really interested in the organic producing trash. They're more interested in obviously preserving the life of your landfill in terms of airspace, like how much is being brought to the landfill. And you do that by removing the plastics and things that don't really help in the methane generation deal. What I also find fascinating, this may actually be a great synergy because from what I understand, it's a regional project that may bring other trash, outside trash, and that the excess of, am I correct, you're not going to be using any of the organics and things like that, that in itself may concentrate the methane generating trash to bring back to Mundy, which would just make it a more purified, easier performance of gas. So as far as I know, I'm in support of that project, and I think it would be a shining example that if you can bring in this recycling processing technology, and in it itself is a green idea, and you combine it with our green clean energy program.
Right.
I think Mundy, not only in Louisiana, but as far as I know in the Southeast, this would be the first project of its kind to be able to do something like that. And Mundy going to enjoy that in DeSoto Parish too. So that's kind of was my intro. One favor I do want to ask that the police jury is we've been successful in getting a few other landfills under contract and so on. And where I am at now is I know we're really close with Mundy, is that from an investment point of view is we're pulling together our final funds, and we'd like to have that closed before the end of March, which means I could literally start April 1st. And Mundy is in that pool of projects that I would like to go. And so I'd like to encourage. In addition to that, there's some tax credits and benefits we get because this is a clean energy project that we would get from the federal government that we'd be able to provide and put back into the project with Mundy. If I could try to encourage the police jury to try to put something together before the end of the month or early April, the latest. So those are my comments. Any questions?
Yes, sir. So you will be able to help with us to leachate water also? Gases?
I don't actually manage it. That's a whole nother line of business that I did before this. And ironically enough, the gentleman that Fourier and the engineers are talking to were my former business partner and good friend. I used to do saltwater injection wells and manage a lot of water over in the oil field in West Texas. So I have a lot of experience in the water fluids management. On this side, what will happen with the gas, your landfill is soaked with fluid. And if fluid is getting in the way, you're not going to be able to produce gas. So the first thing that we'll do is when we start drilling these wells, we will be trying to remove and helping David as sooner than later. It'll really expedite moving this fluid out. So, how much fluid that is in the landfill, I'm not aware of, but I've already been talking with David to again, like we're talking about synergies over here, I also have that on the fluids management side too. I think it is important. I think it's to be honest with the police jury, it's going to cost a little more money to handle it just by nature. The more fluid you got to move, the more dollars it's going to cost. But the more fluid you move means the more gas you have coming out, which is it's going to be 10 times the economics, or I would say 50 times the economics of revenue for you guys versus what it would cost to get rid of those fluids. So it's really important to try to get those fluids out as soon as we can, which is important to try to get this gas field put in. That is the very first thing I will do. The plant's going to take about a 12 months to 13 months to be fully built, to process the gas and to monetize it. However, to get to that, Kyle and our engineers are going to have to go in and install what we call a GCCS, gas control collection system. And that is the system of wells and pipes and all that. They'll be put together to collect all the gas. In lieu of that, we would immediately start releasing and having this water kind of de-water the landfill, which is what David and the group, I think, are wanting to occur. So, and that, I believe, we can start ASAP.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Paul, one other question. We talked about when you did the testing on the pressure of the landfill, like you had concerns at first about whether or not it was going to be feasible as far as the amount of pressure that was coming out of the landfill by the biodegradable of the material. But you was kind of surprised. Could you share that with us?
Yeah,
talk revenues, and I don't think we're going to get the full period, the full scope of the whole site. I think you have a drawing with all the layouts.
I do. So when, as y'all recall, I came back about five and a half months ago to say, hey, I want to do a feasibility study. We got out there in the great site. As I hardly see that, I've been to 30 landfills. And I got on top of the Monday landfill. Y'all just had a recent rain, and you had puddles. And it was literally bubbling up everywhere. That means you got gas under that cap. And so the nickname that my whole group calls this is a landfill hot tub. That's the nickname for Monday is landfill hot tub. We did a sample analysis, which is what we do in our due diligence. We take it over and send it to the best waste lab, and that's over in North Carolina State. They did a waste breakdown to calculate the various methane. Typical methane percentages in landfills is 40 to 60%. That's just an average because all household trash is pretty much average, no matter where you are in the lower 48 in the country. We run our economics assuming 50% of the gas. Most of the other gas is just CO2, which is carbon dioxide. At 50%, but when we ran these tests that Ernell's referring to, the test came back, you have some locations in your landfill that are at 70%. Methane. Now, remind you is that the methane is what you sell. Methane is what we're taking out of the atmosphere, which is a clean green deal, but it's also quite a bit more valuable to be able to put that into a pipeline and monetize later on. What was important in that study, too, was we weren't real sure about this Pratt industry trash because you don't know what chemical process that they did to just strip out the food that the methane bugs would live on. That analysis came back surprising and said there's plenty of methane potential in there, so there's no damage. It seems to be a process where they're culling out excess paper, putting a little bit of moisture, putting it in a bucket, and drop it off in the landfill. That is about 3/4 of your total trash that comes from Pratt Industry. That is your resource. That it's the feedstock. So that is what I'd like to preserve on your behalf too, and be able to convert to methane. So. Anyway, that's...
Dwayne, do you have a question?
Yeah, I got two questions. Yes, sir. What do you think the longevity of these methane wells? How long do you think they're going?
It's fascinating. We all know in DeSoto Parish, and I coming out of the oil and gas, we all know, you hear about these new wells being drilled, and they got these great production curves. They start real high, initial production, and then they tail. Landfill product. If you think of like a piece of trash, you put it in the landfill, it slowly decays over time. And the interesting thing about the gas, a piece of trash, or let's say a volume of trash in your cell, will continue to generate methane for up to 30 to 50 years. Okay, and that is why even after closure, people are still have to monitor their gas and their emissions and everything else. And again, that's what we'll be doing. But it compounds. So as you're adding more trash, It'd be like, the equivalent is if you just kept drilling 100 gas wells every day. But this doesn't have decline. It's a really slow decline curve. And, but the most potent trash that delivers the most methane is usually about 10 years old. Anything older than 10 years old, it's kind of like, the economics are not great. So it's really, I look back 10 years, and then I'm really looking at what's coming down the road. And what I'm projecting for the model that you've seen financials on is I'm only suggesting that Monday is going to grow or expand 1% year over year. So if you do 100,000 tons of trash one year, I'm only modeling that you're going to do 101 the next year. Now, those numbers can change quite a bit. In fact, you're much higher than that. So even under just a very conservative growth curve, I don't see your methane dropping down too much.
Yeah, I got one more question. How much does a water injection well cost, the real one that you can dispose of?
Depends on where you want it. And Louisiana's not a good spot. Louisiana injection pressures are so low, and all around the landfill in the Louisiana, we don't trust the formation to hold the water because of all the my old business. Ironically enough, I was telling you, a good friend of mine, we were looking at talking ways with the engineer and so on about potentially hauling that water and putting it on barges at a Shreveport and floating it down to he's got a Class 1 hazardous injection well south of New Orleans.
Okay, so this water is possibly, it could go into a saltwater well. We couldn't.
You can't. That's oil and gas wells, which are this area is surrounded with, is a Class 2 injection. Landfill water, leachate, and fluids is Class 1. So it's a whole different, and that would take 5 to 6 years to even get it permitted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One last question. At some point in time, if you didn't do this, then we as a jury will have to do that. We have to extract the build a plant and extract the methane from the landfill ourselves, right?
Right.
And what cost would that be? What cost you think that would be?
In terms of the whole project, to
Right.
process and put it in a pipeline?
Right, to extract the gas out of the.
Well, to extract the gas out of the landfill itself, the initial cost just to cover the landfill is going to be about $3.5 million.
Right.
But as David and Michael and all you guys keep bringing in trash, we are constantly putting up about $500,000 a year to keep expanding because it's a dynamic system. I want to chase every bit of your new areas, so it's constantly expanding. So if you figure initial cost $3.5 million or so, and then about $500,000 a year just to play catch up to collect the gas, that is just on grabbing your gas.
Right.
Now, the way I've structured this deal is that if we end up 5 years down the road and it doesn't work out, and for whatever reason, you guys are enjoying the benefit of that. You keep this. I'm not going to be able to take it up out of the ground. This is yours. The added benefit to that too is that at some point in time, the EPA is going to mandate that you have to put this system in.
That's what I'm saying.
I will have already put it in for you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Now, the plant part, which is this other section where I actually have to take the gas that we've collected, the plant part to process it, clean it, to purify it, to get it to pipeline spec, that is anywhere to $15 to $20 million in itself. Now, that's in a confined area. All you guys around here have seen sort of these little midstream plants. It kind of look like that. That is on skids, and that would come with me if something doesn't work out. But you're keeping all of what you need to stay regulatory compliant.
Okay. And
then the last part, obviously, is about, depending on the length of pipeline, the negotiations we're having now, you're probably spending another, $3 to $5 million to just do the pipeline piece, to get it from the plant into the pipeline. So all those things, 3 components, but that's all what makes this system.
Is there any way that you can, I know I have to propose, and I think Mike has it, and I don't know if Greg has it or not, but any way that you can email your proposal to all the little jurors so they can see exactly the numbers?
I will, and I don't know the logistics of that. Did I do that?
You send it to me. Just
send it to me.
Okay.
Send it to me.
I will do that.
Okay.
And if it's better yet, nobody likes, these are lengthy proposals, and I try to help you out and put a bunch of color pictures in there, for me too. But I'd be willing to print out a bunch of books and just kind of bring it up, and you can hand it out to everybody.
Well, you can do books, that'd be good. That'd be great.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
I had one
Yes, sir.
question. I may have misunderstood the other night during the Upland presentation, but it was my take that they could possibly mine the existing cells and possibly get refuge that they could recycle from those existing cells. But if they were to do that, that would interfere with your process. wouldn't it?
Absolutely. That's because it's what is in the ground now is as I said, it takes a while to break down. And that is literally driving your gas curve right now.
Yeah.
And
So that
right now the
basically-
gas curve's kind of tight because it's, you've just started getting this Pratt waste, what, 2-3 years ago, whatever that is. If you pull that out, you're kind of going back to, that's a real tough economic at that point, so.
I just wanted to get that straight because that's the way I understood that.
Okay.
That would be
I
possible
don't
also.
perceive that you're going to go with.
That's a long time off.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm more amenable to if it's new, waste diversion at the point of trucking in or whatever. But,
Okay. All right, thanks, Paul.
okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Buildings and properties.
Mr. Mitchell.
Mitchell. Buildings and properties.
I will go when they roll it on the screen.
Oh.
There we go. Call Building and Properties Committee to order, or call for additions or deletions to the agenda. Do you have any? Guests in public comment? Anyone in the audience wants to comment on anything on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to Building and Properties items. Number 1, authorize the administrator to sign an agreement with Epic Touch for the phone system. That was in your packets, what they're going to do, the cost, and everything in there.
So move.
Things in your packet. Motion by Mr. Fuller,
Second.
second by Mr. Ernell Jones. Any more discussing? All right, hearing none, please vote. Motion carries. Item 2, authorize the administrator to sign an agreement with Purple Guys for disaster recovery, upgrades, and network upgrades. That's also in your pallet package.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Keith Parker,
Second.
second by Mr. Ernell Jones. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We adjourn. That's all of them, isn't it?
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Goodbye, Mr. McKay.
What's going on, Doc? How you doing, man? How you doing, man? I'm doing good.